Thank you for joining me for this 5-part overview of Google Drive and the associated apps that you'll be using this year. I'm Mrs. Bomey. I teach English and Yearbook, and I'm going to be your guide for this portion of your English Bootcamp 2021. We're going to start off with this segment, which is going to be an overview, and then we're going to do some favoriting and folder creation. At the end, you'll have a product that you're going to do, so your teacher can give you credit for completing this section. After that, you can do the other 4 sections of this series in any order that you want. Just bear in mind that each of them has a product that you're creating at the end, and that's going to be part of your assessment for completing your English tasks this week. Okay, here we go. You should see this logo right up here for Google Drive. If not, and you're in something else like your email, you can click on this and select Drive, and it will take you to Google Drive. We're going to skip this button for a moment and come back to it. I want to show you the overall Drive, which is just a collection center for all of your documents that you have made. If I click on this arrow and expand, you'll see I have a large variety of folders and that they're all organized in alphabetical order. It keeps going and going and going because I have a lot of things. I frequently don't want to see all these broken down, so I keep this closed up like that. Another component that you might be interested is shared with me. These are documents that are owned by other people, and those people have given me access to them. So for example, recently, Mr. Acosta, who's part of the 11th grade team and an EL teacher, we were working on this, the 2020-2021 junior curriculum. Mrs. Ruckles, another member of the junior team and sophomore team, she has these couple of documents that I was working in, and here's a few things from Mr. Ash, the 4th member of our college prep junior team. Then other documents that are owned by other people will be listed here down the side. If I want to go to recents, I can see things that I've been working in recently. So for example, here's a document owned by our principal, Mrs. Bellerin, a couple things from the librarian, couple of my things, etc., moving down the list. The one that I really want to draw your attention to, though, is starred. Your starred is like your favorites list. These are the things that you think you're going to be coming back to frequently, and you want to have quick access to them. I have a pretty decent collection. I have quite a few folders for groups that I'm part of, and I also have some documents that I would be coming back to. The blue ones are Google Documents, which are primarily text. The green ones are spreadsheets, which we'll get to in a separate part of this series. And the purple ones represent forms. We'll also get to those in a separate segment. Now that you've got the basic overview of what we have going, let's go back to this new button and take a look at that. The first thing I'd like to do is create a folder for you to keep all your English work in this year. So go ahead and click on that Add folder, the little plus sign folder, and here's where you're going to name your folder. Please use this naming convention. Write English 2021, because we're going to be ending the year in June 2021. Then put your last name. I'm going to pretend to be Joe Jones. It's one of my favorite fictional names I use with my yearbook students all the time. So I'm going to put my last name, Jones, first name, Joe, and then I'm going to put my ID number. So I'm going to make up an ID number, 301234. Notice that I ran everything all together with no spacing in there, but I do have my name capitalized and English capitalized, so I can see all the components. Then all I have to do is press Create, and you're going to see the folder pop up over here. There it is, English 2021, Jones Joe, and the ID number. And you can see it's located in my Drive. So that's where I have it sitting. If you realize that you made a mistake, hit the wrong button, made a typo, put spaces in there that you weren't supposed to do, there's easy ways to fix that. One of the things you can do is just right-click on that folder, and then there is the option to rename it. So the same basic screen I had before pops up, and I realize, oh, my finger slipped. I hit a 4. That should have actually been a 5. Okay, and I'm going to rename it, and it instantly changes, still located in the same place. If I right-click again on it, I can see that I do have some other options. One of those options is to share the folder, and that's what we're going to do right now. Sharing is giving someone else access to everything that's in that folder. So please be mindful about this and don't just go sharing things randomly with people. But you're going to type in your English teacher's name. Now, I'm going to pretend that Mr. Tricarico is my English teacher. So I'm going to type his name in, and he popped up. There's a picture of Mr. T, and it's all set to send to him, and I'm giving him editor rights. That is the level of rights that you want him to have at this stage of the game. I could have him be a viewer, which would mean he could only see things that are in there, but I want him to be an editor because I want him to be able to get in there and help me with my documents and provide me with feedback. So giving him editor access is appropriate in this case. Now, I could write him a little letter and say, hello, Mr. T. I hope you had an awesome summer. Here is my folder that I was told to make in the bootcamp video. And then I could say, sincerely, Joe Jones, period 3. I could do something like that and then hit send, but I can guarantee you Mr. Tricarico is not going to be very happy with me if I do that. Because what's going to happen if I have this notify button ticked is Mr. Tricarico is going to get an email from me with this message and a link to my folder, and it's going to be one of lots and lots and lots of emails that Mr. T does not need at this very moment. So please don't do this. Just know that it's something you can do in the future. Mr. Tricarico and Mrs. Ruggles and Mrs. Romanowski, all the English teachers are expecting our students to make folders and share them with us. So we don't need you to send us an email right now. It would be appropriate, though, to notify people if you were sharing something with them and they weren't necessarily expecting it, to give them a heads up and let them know that it's waiting for them over here in the shared with me area. I'm going to untick this box, so now there's no message. Mr. Tricarico won't be upset with me, and I can simply click share. So now when he goes into his shared with me, he's going to see the folder from Joe Jones and all of his other students who have made the folders after completing this segment. One more time, let's right-click on that folder, and I want to show you that you can add a star to the folder to get it into this starred list over here. So if you just go like that, boom, blue star shows up. And now if I go here, there is my English folder with Joe Jones. Maybe I don't want that. I can right-click again, remove the star, and it's gone. Now if I want to find it, I have a couple of options. Maybe I remember to go to my drive, and I remember to scroll down, and there's the folder. But another way I could do it is I could simply search in here for things called English 2021, and it's going to make suggestions to me. That was exactly what I was looking for, so I'll click on it. Now it's popped up with that familiar breadcrumb trail that we talked about. If you pick up this breadcrumb, it will lead you to see the next one and the next one. It lets you know the path that you've taken. So this folder is in my drive. I could start in my drive, scroll down to this folder. Once I get documents inside, that breadcrumb trail is going to continue. I can click with the down arrow, and there's that opportunity again to add it as starred. So please go ahead and do that. You've got your folder all ready to go. You've completed the tasks for this section. Don't forget to go back and watch the other 4 videos that are going to cover continued topics, including making documents and sharing them in Turnitin.com, how to do slideshows or slide decks, spreadsheets and forms, and Google Drawing. Each of those segments does have a task for you to complete. So even if you're an experienced upperclassman who knows how to use these, make sure you go in and complete the tasks.